How did we spend 20 years, trillions of dollars, thousands of American lives to end up with absolutely nothing but more humiliation? Pashtun tribesmen shooting at us with our guns as we run away. That is the definition of disaster. So rather than just complain about it, let's hold somebody accountable for it. For once. Half the Biden State Department had a hand in our failed Afghanistan policy, yet they're still employed there. Why is that? The Pentagon was supposed to build a functional national army in Afghanistan.
If Tucker Carlson has like a anti-war narrative because he wants to do like populism and he has like Glenn Greenwald on and stuff, I'm constantly reminded of what he used to say about Iraq and Afghanistan, that they're primitive apes that deserve to be glassed. I don't think his point of view has changed.
So people didn't do their jobs and then lied about not doing their jobs, but they're still wearing the uniform of our country? Why is that? Good question. So for the first time in a long time, maybe we could hold our own leaders to account for the calamities they have caused. That's not simply a matter of justice, though it definitely is that. It is the only way to prevent disasters like this from happening again. Eric Prince knows a lot more about Afghanistan than a lot of the people in charge of our Afghanistan policy. He's a former Navy SEAL. He's the founder of Blackwater, and we're happy.
No, he had Eric Prince. Yo, Tucker Carlson, the real working class hero, dude, has Eric Prince on, founder of Blackwater.
Eric Prince, thanks so much for coming on.
Thanks, Tucker.
Before I ask you what we should do,
I know what Eric Prince wants to do. The New York Times allowed him to literally write a fucking op-ed about it. He wants his actual war criminal company, which Trump pardoned, by the way, many of the war criminals, to go in and set up a mercenary band that turns Afghanistan into a vassal state. Like, literally. And there's a reason why it's no longer called Blackwater, but instead called Academy. The reasons are war crimes. You know how we often talk about like the CEO of racism or whatever? Yeah, that's a joke. But this motherfucker is literally the CEO of war crimes, and Blackwater is the factory of war crimes. Okay? This is some real fucking Kojimbo shit. Like, this guy is Kojimbo. When Hideo Kojima imagined a world in endless war with private military contractors fighting one another, he was tailoring that off of what this guy's vision is. And he very openly states that he wants to do that. Lolly lule low ass, dude. It's not even it's not even a secret. Didn't he actually use the terminology? Like, he wanted to appoint czars in Afghanistan. What was he saying? His Afghanistan strategy is functionally turning it into a vassal state for the United States with like an actual fucking vizier or czar. He wanted to have viceroys. Yeah, exactly. My man literally fucking openly wrote in the New York Times, which great of the New York Times to like offer a war criminal to write about how he wants to implement viceroys in Afghanistan. Like, we're going straight back to like, you know, imperialism and colonialism of the old age. It's just fucking mind-boggling that, like, again, the New York Times allowed him to write an article to advocate for his own private army to take over Afghanistan and privatize the war fighting efforts there. And I fear that will happen, by the way. I do fear that, like, that is where we will head towards.
As the United States military pulls out of that country in a hasty, haphazard, almost cruel manner, cities and towns keep falling to the Taliban. That group is thought to now control half of the country's provincial capitals, and its capital, Kabul, well, it could be next. Those of us who support the United States' pullout, who have been calling for an end to America's longest war and welcomed President Joe Biden's announcement of an August 31st deadline for full withdrawal, we have to reckon with the very real, very human costs and consequences of that withdrawal. We do. I'm under no illusions about how bad it's going to get for ordinary Afghans.
Do you still support pulling out? Yes. Guys, the fact that the Taliban took over nearly the entirety of Afghanistan in a matter of like one fucking, you know, weekend, where they were working on the weekend like usual, after 20 years of our fucking invasion, implies that like that invasion was a wholehearted catastrophe from the jump. And we've been saying that already. We had 20 years to build infrastructure, train the Afghan military, and we just kept pumping money into pedophile warlords instead. We didn't do dick. I have a conspiracy. Are you guys ready for this? I have a conspiracy for this. And that conspiracy is that they wanted to pull out of Afghanistan, leave it in a fucking state of disrepair, just so they could justify permanent occupation. That's my conspiracy. Afghanistan is ripe with natural resources. Lots of minerals in Afghanistan, part of the reason why there was strategic positioning for the USSR. And I feel as though they were just like, hey, guess what? Look at how terrible it is. I guess we have to go back, and we always have to be there. And that's probably what's going to end up happening. What is this? And there it is. Never mind. Breaking. Biden increases U.S. deployment to Afghanistan to 5,000 as Taliban roll on. That was quick. I did not realize that we were going to get there immediately. My bad. That's from 53 minutes ago, dude. Are you fucking kidding me? When I was doing the last hour ad break, the American government was releasing 5,000 extra troops to Afghanistan. I'm pre-watching American imperialism happening. That's insane, dude. That's fucking insane. This entire fucking week, every outlet was like losing their fucking minds, like going crazy. NPR exclusively covered Afghanistan. Like literally, you could not have a fucking pedophile warlord sneeze without the NPR talking about it. Like, is it COVID? Are the pedophile warlords in Afghanistan bringing COVID to Kabul? When will they take over Kabul? Kabul is coming. And like literally, they were just like, they were the #1 fans of the Taliban. They were just like covering every fucking step. Taliban might be working on the weekend like usual. You know who else is working on the weekend like usual? Joe Biden and the American war machine, baby. Biden says will not pass this war to Afghanistan, war in Afghanistan to another U.S. leader. So what are they going to do? Are they going to fucking, do genocide or what's up? The whole statement. Statement by President Joe Biden on Afghanistan, Jack. Over the past several days, I've been saying to the Taliban, cut the malarkey. Only I get to touch and kiss the ladies, Jack, not you. First, based on the recommendations of our diplomatic, military, and intelligence teams, I have authorized the deployment of approximately 5,000 U.S. troops, Jack, and an orderly and safe evacuation of Afghans who helped our troops during our mission. Yeah, dude. We couldn't do that with 2,000. We need 5,000 now. We've been pulling out of Afghanistan for like 3 years now. Isn't that exactly what I said? Yes, the point is you're delusional for believing it, you dumbass. How are you literally a fucking veteran, or at least have veteran in your name, and are too fucking brain dead to recognize that this is not what's gonna actually end up happening? If you're a veteran, what are you? You're not a veteran of the fucking Korea War. If you're actually a veteran, as your name implies, that means you probably were there. Like, very likely. Unless you're a fucking Coast Guard veteran. He said he's not? Oh, never mind. He's just stealing valor. Hey, that's good for me, brother. Don't worry about that. Not to be that guy, but the Taliban were advancing too fast, bro. We need a security detachment so our interpreters, contractors, embassy people to leave. I think we should criticize this on August 31st if the troops are still there. Yeah, we'll see what happens to the troops. If they didn't do this, they were just going to leave it up to fucking Turkey. They've already sent in like the Turkish envoy, that fucking, that warlord that was living in Turkey, Dostum. He literally just landed the Uzbek like Turkish envoy, Afghan warlord that landed 2 days ago. So if they weren't going to directly do this themselves, they were probably going to make the Turkish government control the country going forward, as, customary of NATO, of course. The Taliban taking over so quickly proves the military occupation strategy is inferior to sending aid and trying to improve material conditions of the average Afghan. So we spent $83 billion training and equipping Afghan security forces. How the fuck did they get rolled that fast? They were too busy having sex with children, okay? That's what happened. And if you think that's me like being racist or something, that's literally a thing that fucking happened. And our military looked the other way while it was happening. When your goal isn't to fucking actually create a stable country, which is capable of self-governance, you put puppets in charge and you don't fucking do anything. Why wouldn't they look the other way? It's not their jurisdiction. Yeah, dude, totally. Like when the American military trained death squads in Nicaragua, they were not looking the other way when they fucking raped and murdered nuns, for example. It's not in their jurisdiction, bro. Bro, that's their culture, bro, right? Is that what you're saying? Is that like your argument? What the fuck is wrong with you, dude? Why the fuck are we there if it's not their jurisdiction? U.S. soldiers were told to ignore the sexual abuse of boys by Afghan allies. Dan Quinn was relieved of his Special Forces command after a fight with a U.S.-backed militia leader who had a boy as a sex slave chained to his bed. At night, we can hear them screaming, but we're not allowed to do anything about it. The Marine's father, Gregory Buckley Sr., recalled his son telling him before he was shot to death at the base in 2012. He urged his son to tell his superiors. My son said that his officers told him to look the other way because it's their culture. Implying the Taliban don't also do this? Dog, we cannot control the Taliban. Are you fucking dumb? Oh, the Taliban do a little bit of boy fucking too. So, our warlords on our side, some of which might fucking turn rank and like join the Taliban, like, they should be able to do a little bit of boy fucking too. Is that your take? Is that like the dude, oh God, the neoliberal imperialism defenders have logged on, boys. Dude, if you're there for 20 fucking years and the Taliban can take over in like literally one fucking busy weekend, you didn't do shit. It's proof alone that we didn't do anything positive to Afghanistan, okay? The people didn't fucking want us there. No one wanted us to be there. Plus, the Taliban numbers rose from like 11K in 2008 to 85K in 2021 while we were there, so what the fuck are we doing? I wonder why that happened, despite the fact that America was routinely engaging in fucking conflict with the Taliban. I wonder if there was another force that, I don't know, greatly increased the number within their ranks, despite constantly getting killed. I wonder if there was another outside force that motivated a lot of people to join up the arms and think that this cause that they were fucking there. I mean, the number didn't increase from 2008. That number you're referencing, by the way, for the record, I'm going to clarify, cannot be from 2008. That number definitely was larger. It was still large in 2008, but that number is probably from like at the heat of like America purging back the Taliban forces. Stop saying literally Pakistan. Pakistan does play a role in this, okay? Again, hey, ally, by the way. America's ally. Just remember that, okay? America's fucking ally, but it's not just fucking Pakistan. That's not the reason. The main reason is because people were motivated. People were motivated to push back against an imperial force that was destroying their infrastructure and blowing up shit and murdering people. Of course, dude. What the fuck? Who funded the Mujahideen? That's a really good question. Who considered the Mujahideen, some of which became Al-Qaeda, some of which became the Taliban? Who considered them to be brave warriors? Not me. I mean, if you ask Fox News, it was me. But I'm pretty sure there were... Oh, that's right. It was the American military because they saw it as a counterbalance to the USSR involvement in the region. That's right. That's crazy. Fuck, you're so right. That's so wild, dude. We did that. Shocking. I know. And because they wanted the USSR to experiment their own Vietnam, yeah, guess what? That still found its way for us to fucking experiment Vietnam 2 electric boogaloo. Because America was like, yeah, fuck that. USSR not doing a good enough job there. They couldn't do their own... By the way, what that chatter is saying is literally true. These are declassified CIA documents that talked about the American military's interest in creating a Vietnam-like condition for the USSR at the time in Afghanistan. Yeah, it's like an actual admission. Except then it turned into our Vietnam. So that's cool. Rambo 3 aged like a good wine. Yeah, this film is dedicated to the brave Mujahideen fighters of Afghanistan. I know. We always prop up the worst, the absolute fucking worst pieces of shit, the most fundamentalist Islamist pieces of shit all around the fucking world as a counterweight to any sort of like genuine democratic socialist interest. And we did that throughout the entire duration of the Cold War. And now we're reaping the negative consequences of that. Same with fucking Hamas. Yes. Always, dude. Always. Fourth, we have conveyed the Taliban representatives in Doha via our combatant commander that any action on the part in their ground in Afghanistan that puts U.S. personnel or our mission at risk there will be met with a swift and strong U.S. military response. Taliban's like probably excited, dude. They're going to take up strategic positioning in a lot of these cities. They've already completely fucking surrounded like incoming commerce at the borders. Now they're just going to fucking have a more justifiable cause in their hands because anytime that they fight back against an imperial power, they are seen as, unlikely allies. To the average Afghan, the difference between fucking a Taliban and like whatever fucking warlord that the United States is funding is just the Taliban is a little bit more spicy. Unless you're talking about like urban environments and the urban cities where like there are, more amenities for women, certainly, and girls. Grand Theft Auto 3, Britney is free, the Taliban are running Afghanistan again, 2001 is back, baby. It's true. Wait, what the fuck? Uh-oh. Wait, that means... Not gonna say anything.